GTA Vice City is one of the most iconic games of all time. Despite it being more than 20 years old at this point, people always come back to it. But underneath the neon lights and glowing flares lies one of the most wicked worlds in any GTA game. On the surface, it's a story of how a kingpin rose through the ranks and conquered a city. But beneath it all lies some of the most evil world building ever. In this video, I will explain the wicked lore of Grand Theft Auto Vice City, including all the side characters and the lore of the world as well. Let's start off with the main plot of the game. GTA Vice City is set in a fictional city called Vice City in Miami, Florida in the year 1986. You play as Tommy Vercetti. He's just released from prison and he works for the Forelli family. He is sent to Vice City in order to expand the business of the family down south. As he meets a lawyer called Ken Rosenberg with Harry and Lee, he takes the three to the Vice City docks where the deal was about to take place. On the way to the docks, Ken tells that out of the two drug sellers, one handles the business, which is Victor Vance, and one does the flying, which is Lance Vance. Once they reach there, everything at first seemed fine. Tommy, along with Harry and Lee, shows the money while Victor shows the merchandise. Meanwhile, a few mercenaries rise from cover and ambushes them. As a result, everyone dies except Tommy. He flees the scene with Ken and Lance flies away in the helicopter.
Grade A Colombian, my friend.
Let me see it.
The greens?
10s and 20s. Used.
I think we have a deal, my friend.
Oh, shit! Come on, get out of here! Drive!
After that, Ken stops the car at his office and leaves Tommy. Tommy goes to the hotel where he is supposed to be and calls Sonny Forelli. Sonny Forelli talks about their relationship and acknowledges the 15 years that have passed since Tommy came out of prison. After that, he asks Tommy about the deal and Tommy reveals the truth. Sonny gets very heated and tells Tommy that he better not betray him. Tommy tells Sonny that he will take care of it and Sonny warns him that he has his eyes on Tommy. Having no choice, Tommy starts to work for Ken as he is the only lead and connection Tommy has in Vice City due to being completely new. He tells Tommy to go to the party Juan Cortez is throwing where a lot of other big players of Vice City will be too. He goes there and meets with Cortez, his daughter Mercedes, who then introduces Avery Carrington, Donald Love, BJ Smith, Candy Suxxx, Kent Paul, Jess Torrent, Alex Shrub, Pastor Richards, Steve Scott, Gonzalez, and lastly, Ricardo Diaz. After dropping her to the pole position club, Ken makes Tommy meet Kent Paul in person at the Malibu Club, who then tells Tommy that a chef by the name Leo Teal must know what was going on about the deal ambush. Tommy goes there and kills him and then takes his phone. While catching his breath, he meets up with Lance Vance, who was the pilot during the drug deal. He gives Tommy a weapon so Tommy and him can make an escape from the other chefs. After that, Tommy visits the gun shop and gets to the hotel.
I'm gonna go see what I can dig up. I'll be watching you, Tommy.
Next up, Ken tells Tommy that he needs to intimidate some juries because if he doesn't, then Forelli's cousin Giorgio will get 5 years in prison for fraud. After that, he intimidates 2 juries. Now, Ken introduces Tommy to Avery in person and he causes a riot, which as a result benefits Avery due to the property prices going down as he was a real estate investor. And with that, all for Ken mission comes to an end. Cortez calls Tommy shortly after the riot and tells him about Gonzalez and the fact that he probably snitched, so Tommy has to kill him. After killing Gonzalez, he then tells Tommy to pick up a valuable technology from a courier. Turns out that technology is a property of the French government. Having no choice, Tommy kills the courier, takes the technology for Cortez, and then delivers it to him. Cortez tells Tommy to oversee a business deal that was about to take place for Diaz. While collecting the rifle for overseeing the drug deal, Lance shows up and teams up with Tommy. They both kill the Haitians who ambushes the deal and and Tommy gains the trust of Ricardo Diaz. From here on out, Tommy works for Diaz. At first, Diaz asks Tommy to find out about the guy who is stealing 3% from Diaz. Tommy chases him and finds out the mansion. After that, Diaz tells Tommy to go and kill everyone there. Lance teams up with Tommy and Tommy kills them all, then takes the money out of there. And then he steals the fastest boat for Diaz and then uses that boat to buy the cargo before anyone else. After working for Diaz, Cortez again calls Tommy for a favor, but this time when they meet, he tells Tommy about his suspicion of Diaz and the fact that he might be the one who ambushed the drug deal and took Sonny's money and Vance brothers' merchandise. Tommy is asked to steal a tank from the military and then store it somewhere safe. After completing his task, Kent Paul gives Tommy a call and tells him to meet at the Malibu Club. He lets Tommy know that Diaz has taken Lance hostage because Lance went after Diaz all alone for revenge. Tommy goes to the junkyard and kills Diaz's men in order to save Lance and takes him to the hospital to solve his bleeding. As Diaz has been exposed to be the enemy, Tommy and Lance team up once again, and this time with M4 rifles in order to take out Ricardo Diaz.
I got us some cannons in the trunk.
Holy shit, where'd you get all this stuff?
Been saving for a rainy day. You like?
Yeah, I like.
They infiltrate the compound and kill all of Diaz's men, and lastly finishing off Diaz and taking off his mansion.
You stupid pricks! My beautiful house! Look what you've done to it!
This is for my brother!
I trusted you, Tommy. I would have had you made.
Say goodnight, Mr. Diaz.
Now that they took out Diaz, Tommy needed to let Vice City know who is the kingpin this time. As a result, he goes to the shopping mall and breaks windows. Tommy, I thought you wanted to show the city who was the real boss, not the high schoolers. Once he has broken all the windows, like an individual from r/I'm14 and this is deep subreddit, he finds out that Cortez needs help for the last time because he made the French government very angry and now they're coming for him. So, Tommy works as a gun for hire and kills every agent coming for Cortez, while he flees Vice City temporarily. He then gifts Tommy his boat and asks him to take care of Mercedes while he is away and thus ending the Cortez missions. Now that Tommy is taking over Vice City, he learns from Lance that some bars are refusing to pay for protection money. Seeing Lance doing nothing about it and being completely lazy, Tommy gets angry and takes 2 of the men and go to bar and talks to the manager. He tells Tommy about the gang that was protecting his bar and Tommy kills the gang members as a result. Because Tommy shouted at Lance, this makes him very angry and he starts to give signs that he might betray Tommy. Tommy on the other hand tries to show Lance that he screamed because Lance was doing nothing about the matter at hand. But it's clear that Lance did not make up his mind.
Tommy, we gotta talk about stuff.
What's the problem, Lance?
It's you, my friend. I feel you're not giving me a fair slice. And more than that, you've been embarrassing me in front of the boys. I can't have that.
Lance, it ain't like that. You've been making mistakes.
Tommy, I'm not your message boy. I'm not your running boy.
Lance, don't screw up and we won't have any problems. I screw up, you can lay into me anytime.
Tommy, I done everything for you. You treat me like a fool. Don't do that.
Lance, I won't rip you off or stab you in the back, okay? Just take it easy. This is tough enough without you getting all emotional on me. Trust me. Do you hear me? Do you hear me?
I hear you, Tommy, but I can't take this much more.
Lance, don't be like this. Now I'm warning you. Do you hear me? Just relax. Take a few days off. Okay? I'll talk to you.
In the next mission, Copland, Tommy learns that Mike was supposed to burn a place down in the mall, but he screwed up while setting the timer and the bomb did not go off. But the cops are at the place, and if they find out what they were trying to destroy, Tommy and Lance will go to jail. Tommy comes up with a plan that they are going to dress up like cops and then go inside. rig the bomb, and get out. The plan worked flawlessly, and Tommy and Lance made a successful escape, and thus the Vercetti estate starts to generate money from this point onward. Lance calls Tommy to whine about how he is not a lapdog for Tommy, even though he really doesn't do anything at all anyway.
Give me a hard time, man.
Tommy, it's me, Lance. Keep your mouth shut there, Tommy, because I ain't got no time to talk. I ain't interested in what you gotta say. Why should I be? You don't care about me, do you? You gotta look after me a bit better. Give me a fair slice, you know? Hey, Tommy, man, look, hey, I'm sorry. It's just that people patronize me all my life, treat me like a little kid. My brother would do that. Please, man, don't do that. I gotta go.
From this point onwards, Avery tells Tommy that he should invest in real estate as that's where the real money comes from, and because Tommy also wanted to take over Vice City, that's exactly what he starts to do. He acquires a total of 7 assets in order to build his empire, including the Printworks business where he meets with Earnest Kelly. He reveals to Ernest that he was supposed to do this trade for the rest of his life, but then his life changed. He later cuts Lance in this business too. Once he sets this business up, he gets a call from Ken that he needs to get back to Printworks for an urgent reason. And that's when he gets to learn from Earnest Kelly that Sonny Forelli is coming after his businesses.
Hey, hello, Tommy, we got a situation over at Printworks. You better go and check it out. I don't know, some kind of mess or other. Things are messed up. I gotta go.
Give me a hard time. Give me a break. What's going on?
Oh. Okay, what's the emergency?
Who? Tommy. Some mob thugs said they'd come to take their cut. Said it was a Mr. Forello's money. I feel like crap.
Forelli? Sonny Forelli?
Yeah, that's the guy. I think. They were very insistent.
I'm not angry with you. Get him to the hospital.
Tommy, rip that guy a new asshole for me.
I'm gonna rip him too!
Throughout the entire game, Sonny keeps calling Tommy to let him know who he was working for and not to stray away from his true objective, which was to get the money and the merchandise back to the Forelli family. This makes Tommy realize that they're going to tax all of his businesses, so he kills the collectors and stop giving any money to Sonny. Lance calls Tommy again that he needs to come to his mansion as they have big problems. Tommy finds Ken and Lance and they tell him that his friends from South, which is Sonny Forelli, is coming for the money. Tommy's plan was to print out fake money from the Printworks and give them to Sonny. It's at this moment we get a small glimpse on what happened before Tommy went to prison.
Tommy, it's Lance. We got big problems. Come down here right away.
What's going on?
Tommy! Oh, good. Listen. I like fish. I love fish. I love them as pets in bowls, or as food on a plate, but as much as I love them, I don't want to sleep with them, okay? But right now, your Italian brothers are coming from up there to fit me with some cement shoes, and I...
Shut up, Ken! Sit down! Lance, what the hell's going on?
It's your friends up north, Tommy. They ain't too happy you capped their man. They're coming down to see the business today.
They took longer than I thought. Guys, we gotta make this final. We gotta leave no doubt that this is my operation. Mine! Ken, you get the first one to counterfeit cash and put 20 mil in briefcases. Lance, you get the guys together.
Tommy! What? No big hugs for your old buddy?
I've had 15 years out of the loop. I'm a bit rusty on family etiquette.
Oh, he's angry, huh, Tommy? Didn't I say your temper would get you into trouble, huh?
There's 3 mil in the cases.
How many was it, 10? No, 11 men. That's how you get to be called the Howard Butcher.
You sent me to kill one man. One man! They knew I was coming, Sonny.
Tommy, watch your tone. Anyone would think you blame me for that unfortunate set of circumstances.
Just take the money.
Get the damn cash. You know, Tommy, I did what I could for you. I pulled strings, called in favors. I was your friend, Tommy. I hoped you'd see sense, see what's good for business. I trusted you, Tommy, and you disappointed me. But at least someone in your chicken shit organization knows how to do business. Isn't that right, Lance?
Sorry, Tommy. This is Vice City. This is business.
You sold us out.
No, I sold you out, Tommy. I sold you out. The real cash is upstairs in the safe.
So, Tommy, what was the big plan? You think I just take the fake cash, save face, and run away with my tail between my legs?
No. I just wanted to piss you off before I kill you.
He mentions that Sonny sent him to kill one man, but someone knew he was coming, and Sonny tells Tommy to watch his tone as if he was blaming Sonny for what happened. Of course, I will explain all of it later along with the side missions and acid missions, but let's just get over with the main story first. It is at this moment Forelli exposes to Tommy that Lance snitched on him and told them about the fake money. Knowing this, Tommy has no choice but to kill Sonny and also Lance the backstabber. He kills all of Sonny's men and Lance as well. As a result, Sonny appears before Tommy with the last few men he had and orders them to kill Tommy and that Tommy was his dog. Tommy kills Sonny too and teams up with Ken in building up a new empire because there was no one else coming for him.
This is the last dance for Lance Vance. You took 15 years from me, Sonny, and now I'm gonna make you pay.
You still don't get it, do you? I own you, Tommy. Those 15 years were mine to spend. Get him, boys. He never understood a thing. Oh.
Tommy? Oh my God, Tommy, what happened?
What does it look like?
It looks like you ruined your suit, and Tommy, that was a beautiful suit. Tommy, what on earth happened?
Had a disagreement with a business associate. You know how it is.
Tommy, I have a disagreement. I send them an angry letter. Maybe I pee in their mailbox. I don't start World War III. You know, maybe you should speak to my shrink.
That stupid prick Lance.
Tommy, I never liked that guy, okay? He's neurotic, he's insecure, he's self-centered. The guy's an asshole. I'm glad you took him out.
I don't think we're gonna be getting any more heat from up north either. Because there ain't no up north anymore. It's all down south now.
Wait, does that mean what I think it means? Tommy, baby!
What do you think it means?
That we're in charge. I mean that you're in charge. Oh, Tommy!
You know, Ken, I think this could be the beginning of a beautiful business relationship. After all, you're a conniving, backstabbing two-bit thief, and I'm a convicted psychotic killer and drug dealer.
I know. Ain't it just beautiful?
And this concludes the main storyline of Grand Theft Auto Vice City. But now, let's get into the nitty-gritty and take a look at all the side characters and the side events that happens. Tommy is a very bold character. He worked for Sonny because as he was growing up, he stumbled upon him and they bonded a friendship. He spent 15 years in prison after coming right out. He decided to conquer Vice City. Dan Houser described Tommy as strong and dangerous and prepared to wait for the right opportunity to arrive. Director Navid Konsari recalled Liotta frequently complaining on set and found him difficult to work with as a result. In some sessions, he was into it, but then sometimes he was very dark and couldn't work, said Sam Houser. Tommy respects elders, which is why he listens to Cortez and also respected Earnest Kelly as he saw him as a father figure. Despite his rage, he is very naive. He couldn't tell Lance was obviously going to betray him, and he is also very loyal. He tends to not question those who he worked for, which is why he never really questioned Sonny about his suspicion on the ambush that took place when he was ordered to kill a man. He killed everyone on that ambush, which was a total of 11 people, and as a result he went to jail for 15 years. He respects his elders, but that doesn't mean he doesn't question them at all. For example, when he buys the ice cream business Cherry Popper, he asks the old lady if she was a psycho or not for not liking kids. In the end, he got what he wanted, which is taking over Vice City and becoming a kingpin. Sonny Forelli is an Italian-American mobster and the don of the Liberty City-based Forelli crime family as of 1986. A friend and the boss of GTA Vice City's protagonist, Tommy Vercetti, Sonny sends Vercetti to Vice City wishing to establish drug trade businesses there. Sonny joined the family's ranks, eventually rising to power at a young age. Under Sonny's reign, the Forellis became the most powerful crime organization in Liberty City, with Sonny having a major influence in the business of racketeering, gambling, union trouble, corruption, and prostitution in the area. Prior to the 1970s, Sonny became a friend and the boss of fellow mobster Tommy, employing Tommy as his hitman. However, due to Tommy's rising reputation and power in Liberty City's underworld, the Forelli Don became disdainful towards Tommy. In 1971, Sonny sent Tommy to Harwood to assassinate a key mobster. But when Tommy arrived, he found himself surrounded by 11 hitmen. Despite being outnumbered, Tommy managed to kill all the hitmen, but was arrested and convicted of 11 counts of murder. It is speculated that the 11-man ambush was ordered by Sonny himself, though this was never confirmed. Tommy was spared the death penalty, instead being sentenced to 15 years in prison. While Tommy continues searching for the suspects related to the drug deal, Sonny remains in contact with him. Throughout Tommy's time in Vice City, Sonny contacts him 3 times. In his first call, after Tommy has intimidated jurors who were on Sonny's cousin Georgia's case, Sonny merely reminds Tommy to find the stolen money, while also warning him about being a potentially unreliable person.
Hey, Tommy, it's Sonny. How's the suntan?
I ain't got no suntan.
We ain't got my money either, so I'm wondering to myself. What are you doing? So tell me, Tommy, what are you doing?
I'm looking for the money, Sonny. Don't worry.
I am worrying, Tommy. That's my style, because I seem to have this problem in my life with unreliable people. Don't be an unreliable person, Tommy, please. Do us both a favor. I'm looking forward to hearing from you.
Tommy eventually finds out that drug baron Ricardo Diaz was the man who ordered the hit on the drug deal and kills him, slowly becoming the new crime lord in Vice City. After hearing about Tommy's latest actions, while the latter didn't inform him of finding out and killing the man responsible, Sonny calls him again, warning him not to forget about the Forellis.
Tommy, remember me?
Hello, Sonny.
That's right, Sonny. We're all friends. You never write me, you never call. Don't you want to be friends no more?
I've been busy trying to sort things out. You didn't give me a lot of support down here, Sonny.
Oh, my fault, is it? Well, I've heard you've been busy, all right. Busy killing drug barons, busy taking over. Don't forget about us, Tommy, because I can assure you, I ain't about you.
Irritated at Tommy for ignoring the Forellis, not giving them a cut from his businesses, and not even repaying his debt, Sonny calls Tommy again, furiously questioning him over his actions and lack of contact with the family. Sonny also threatens to have Ken's family killed. After that, he got tired of waiting for Tommy and sent his men to tax his businesses. In the end, Tommy tells him about his suspicion about the ambush that happened 15 years ago, as he suspected for a very long time that Sonny was behind it all. Sonny did not admit it, and in the end dies by the hands of the very man he claimed to own for 15 years. And thus, Tommy ended up being the very same dog that he wanted him to be. Kicked the dog so much that when it got stronger, it finally kicked back 15 years later. The Harwood Butcher reclaimed its name once again. At the beginning of the game, you can see a dead guy on a meat hook. This has never been mentioned again. It is rumored that he owed the Forelli family some money and was unable to pay it back, which is why he ended up being in the freezer of the Marco's Bistro, which is a restaurant owned by the Forelli family. No one knows who that person is, but you will wish it was Lance Vance. Ken Rosenberg successfully graduated as a lawyer, although he is suspected of cheating on his exams, and established his own business, K. Rosenberg & Co., setting up the firm in Vice City, with the company's office being inside the Hotel Harrison in Washington Beach. He is 33 years old at the time of Grand Theft Auto Vice City. He started working for the Forelli crime family at some point in 1978, aged 25. By 1984, his company has begun to represent the Vice Vice News network legally, with the company advising people through a VNN news report to quote the Second Amendment of the American Constitution if they are prosecuted for illegally using a firearm after open gunfights in the downtown district seen during the Mission Nice package. By 1986, he has also established ties with the Liberty City-based Forelli crime family and has begun to represent them legally. Vercetti eventually stops working for Rosenberg, who begins to represent him and bailing him from the Vice City Police Department police stations across the city, with Rosenberg later attempting to give Vercetti advice about earning more money and about a planned bank heist. He later sides with Vercetti when Sonny Forelli arrives in Vice City and, along with Vance, a former ally of Vercetti, attempt to take over Vercetti's business empire. The two become close friends, although Rosenberg's coke addiction later drives a wedge between the two, and by the time GTA San Andreas takes place, Tommy cuts off all ties with Ken Rosenberg. Lance is a coke dealer who worked in the drug trade with his brother, Victor Vance. Lance piloted the helicopter and Vic conducted the deals himself. The two are the main members of the Vance crime family, with Vic as the boss. I have already talked about Lance and what he does in the main plot of the game. Now let me explain his characteristic. If you hadn't noticed, Lance comes off as a very whiny and entitled person through the game. He is also very annoying because of this. He's a narcissist who cannot take accountability for what he does. He never admits his mistake. If you paid attention, you will notice that throughout the entire game, he never actually helped Tommy. He only teamed up with Tommy because they both had the same goal at the end of the first half, so it was better to have two people than being solo. And even then, he would only do the things that would keep him out of harm's way. For example, during the mission Phnom Penh 86, you can see he is the one who flies the helicopter and leaves Tommy to be the one who does the shooting. He is also a useless NPC during the mission Copland. If anything, he is the reason the mission is as difficult as it is. He also is the reason why Tommy's plan for Diaz doesn't work out, because he is extremely unpredictable. That's why he went for Diaz all alone and in the end made Tommy's life hell and couldn't even get the job done. Which is why when he was doing nothing during the mission bar brawl, Tommy shouted at him. But being the narcissistic whiner he is, he spent the rest of the game just complaining to Tommy, never acknowledging the fact that it was his mistake in the first place.
What's the problem?
Some bars refusing to pay. They reckon they're protected by a local gang of thugs. But don't worry, Tommy, I can handle it.
You call this handling it? You two, off your asses. Let's go.
Tommy takes him in the Printworks business to show him that he still cared about Lance, but Lance used this as a weapon to later betray Tommy to his biggest enemy. I won't be mentioning the story of GTA Vice City stories, but he was also the reason the suffering his brother faced. For the lack of a better word, he was simply a cancer that was destroying everything that came close to him. But in the end, he died as a backstabber who still got roasted to death about his name being Lance Vance, for which he was very insecure about.
This is the last dance for Lance Vance.
Juan Cortez was born in Central America. During his time in his home country, he survived 30 coups and 9 death sentences, always managing to survive and get promoted. Cortez has a disliking of the French, accusing them of hypocrisy for stealing from poor nations for centuries, while they are accusing him of thievery. During this time, Cortez married an unnamed woman and they had a daughter, Mercedes, though his wife died sometime prior to 1986. At some point, he became heavily involved in drug trafficking. Cortez began his business interests in the United States by sending Gonzalez, his right-hand man, as a representative in drug deals. Gonzalez stole some of Cortez's drugs to sell for a side profit, though he is more or less forgiven by Cortez and allied drug lord Ricardo Diaz, who threatens to kill Gonzalez if he does not begin to tell Diaz about Cortez's future drug deals in the city. Cortez moved from his home country to Vice City by 1986, where he mainly mainly lived on a large yacht. GTA Vice City's promotional website reveals that he is officially a cultural attaché, encouraging trade and improving our standing between their countries, providing him a cover for his drug operations. He tells his countrymen that while he would rather be at his vineyard celebrating with them, it is my curse to live in luxury in the United States, because he is serving a patriotic duty. He also reveals that aside from his yacht, he has a luxury villa in Vice City that his people pay for. The police have bugged it, which is probably why he leaves on his yacht. Also saying later that the yacht allows him to quickly relocate if he gets in too much trouble. Cortez is allowed leniency with the law because of diplomacy immunity, and also enjoys eating endangered species, for example, shark or tapir snout, considering it fine living. As we know that he used to give work to Tommy, and on the other hand gave Tommy the information about the person responsible for the drug deal ambush. Interestingly, his Vice City crime tree investigation has his voice attached.
To you, I am Colonel Juan Garcia Cortez. To my people, I am a hero, a patriot. My love for my country knows no bounds. I will give everything if that is what is asked of me. And if my people need me most in Vice City, promoting our needs, encouraging trade, and improving our standing, then that is where I will go, for my people. Sometimes as I stand in the luxury villa my people pay for, or relax at another party, I know I would rather be at home in the mountains, waiting for the harvest to ripen, sharing a joke with my people. But that has not been my fortune. It is my curse to live in luxury in the United States in order to...
I don't know why it cuts off in the end, but as you can clearly tell, he's much more complicated than he appeared. It is implied that he said what he said as a politician. In reality, he was enjoying the life he was living, but he wanted to manipulate people into thinking it was the opposite. A few weeks later, Cortez calls Tommy, who had since killed Diaz and Forelli, to become a powerful drug baron in his own right, fearing that his daughter wants to become a lawyer, which would bring shame to their family. Tommy reassures him that she definitely did not want to be a lawyer, but does not inform him that she has become an adult actress or a rock groupie. In the same phone call, Cortez tells Tommy that he is in his home country and that the new Minister of the Interior, whose father Cortez killed in a failed coup, has arrived, so he needs to be polite to him.
Tommy, Tomas, it's Cortez. ¿Qué pasa?
Things are interesting. How are you, my friend?
I wanted to ask you about Mercedes.
Okay, what about her?
Oh, Tommy, I hear these stories, all these stories. I don't know what to think. Maybe she thinks she could do what she likes. But Tommy, tell me, is it true?
Is what true?
These stories I hear. She really going to be a lawyer? Tommy, the shame. You know, we Cortez are a proud family. We would never allow a daughter of ours to become a lawyer. Please, tell me it isn't so. I don't think I could take it.
Oh, Colonel, I can assure you, Mercedes is never going to become a lawyer. Don't worry about it.
Oh, thank you, Tommy. Tommy, thank you. The shame would be unbearable. She's a lady, not a parasite, you know? Anyway, Tommy, you must excuse me, all right? The new Minister of Interior has arrived. Many years ago, I killed his father in a failed coup, so I must be polite. Hey, good day, amigo.
In another one of his phone calls, which was deleted from the game, Cortez tells Tommy that he fought in 3 revolutions, being promoted each time. Ricardo Diaz is the leader of his own drug cartel, and by 1986 is the drug baron of Vice City, Florida. Diaz was born in Colombia and moved to the United States in 1978, bribing the INS for a green card before moving to Vice City in the early 1980s. Sometime in between 1984 and 1986, Diaz establishes himself as the drug baron of Vice City and finishes the building of his mansion. His drug habit continues and he has become far more paranoid. Diaz sets up a number of foundations across Vice City and Latin America, although the Vice City Bureau of Investigation believed them to be a front, whilst they also suspect him of 18 murders. Diaz has also established a protection racket in the city. The Vice City crime tree had this to say about Diaz: extremely dangerous, bribed INS for green card in 1978, entered country from Colombia. For Ricardo Diaz, it was his anger issues that got him his downfall. He made obvious mistakes because of it. For example, when he was trying to watch a movie, the player stopped working, which made him angry, and as a result he shot it. It was later pointed out by Tommy that it wasn't even plugged into the wall, but instead of admitting he had made the mistake, he immediately used money and shrugged off the mistake.
Jack! Plastic crap! You doing this to me? Who do you think you are, you piece of plastic shit? Oh! Oh. Screw you! It is my favorite El Burro movie. It died. What else can I do?
It's probably not plugged in.
What? Damn. No matter. I can buy 100 more. Now, Tommy. Each month, a freelancer sails into Vice City in Morris's yacht. He sells his cargo to the first boat. I want you to take the speedboat and beat all the other shitheads to it. Then you bring the cargo here. Okay?
At a certain point, mistakes and bad decisions like those is stacked up until he met his demise by the hands of Tommy and Lance. Avery Carrington was born and raised in Texas and later moved to Vice City, becoming at some point a successful property magnate and real estate mogul to his willingness to use any tactic including gang warfare, arson, intimidation, murder, and demolishing opponents' buildings. Avery is heavily influenced by his father and takes on a protege, Donald Love, passing on his knowledge, which Love would later use to his own advantage. However, for some reason, Avery seems to dislike Donald. He owns the Shady Acres Company and its advertisement can be heard on the in-game radio. He may also have been involved with the company Avery Construction, a property development company working in Blueberry, Red County, San Andreas. In 1986, he is financing the construction of a building in Vice Point and is one of Vice City's social elite, attending the party of Juan Cortez. Carrington, however, faces problems from the Spand Express Company, who refused to sell their land, and another further advanced construction site opposite his own. Ken Rosenberg introduces Carrington to Tommy Vercetti, who helps to drive a Spand Express out of their land by causing a riot in their yard and destroying 3 Spand Express vans. Carrington, impressed with Vercetti's ability, later hires him to murder a man who refuses to sell some land to Carrington and to structurally weaken a construction site located opposite his own. Carrington continues with his business before asking Vercetti for help again, this time having him initiate a gang war between the Cubans and the Haitians in order to drive down property prices, and later gives Tommy advice in how to build his criminal empire in the city following the death of drug baron Ricardo Diaz. This is what the Vice City crime tree had to say. Texan property magnate and real estate developer likes to talk about his father, the good old days, extreme capitalist, suspected of doing anything to manipulate property prices and land value, including, but not limited to, arson, rioting, bribery, intimidation, and murder. Always wears cowboy hat. Mercedes Cortez was born and raised by her parents, Juan Cortez and Mrs. Cortez, who later died in an unknown country. She and her father later moved to Vice City, establishing themselves with the rich and powerful in the city, often inviting their friends to parties including drug baron Ricardo Diaz, who Mercedes dislikes. Mercedes informs Tommy Vercetti in the party that she dislikes her name, telling him, "You try living with it." Mercedes is shown as a possible love interest for Vercetti throughout Vice City, although this potential romance is never really explored outside of a few teasing conversations. Several phone calls between both of them were cut from the final version of the game. She is presented as a very promiscuous woman, sleeping with Love Fist, starring in an adult film, possibly working at the Pole Position Club, and apparently working as a prostitute in Little Havana if Kent Paul is to be believed. This licentiousness is used as a joke in the end of the game, where her father calls Vercetti concerned about her behavior, only to reveal that he believed she was becoming a lawyer. After her father flees the country, she agrees to work in Tommy's adult movies studio. She appears alongside Candy Suxxx in an adult film directed by Steve Scott. When Vercetti requests an update from Scott on production of the film, Scott explains that Candy is a natural and describes new girl Cortez as insatiable, claiming she went through half the cast and crew before he even took a light reading. Kent Paul is a cocky youth from Kent, England. He works in the music business but claims to be a criminal mastermind. By 2002, he owns a website called Kent Paul's 80s Nostalgia Zone. Paul was born in Kent, England. Sometime during his youth, he was in Bristol. He moved to Vice City in 1982 when he was only 17 and established contact with criminals such as lawyer Ken Rosenberg, Big Mitch Baker, and his biker gang, and the Scottish rock band Love Fist. He later became the band's manager. At some point before 2002, Paul apparently fell off the wagon with substance abuse. By 2002, he was in a halfway house as part of an aftercare program. He started his Kent Paul's 80s Nostalgia Zone website as part of his therapy and learned about HTML along the way. Kent Paul writing his website is chronologically his final role in the Grand Theft Auto series. And that sums up the main characters of the game, and that appears in the main story. Now let's talk about the 10 businesses that you can do and the rest of the characters. The first business asset that Tommy owns is the Vercetti estate, which is mandatory for the story and already explained. I have also explained the Printworks asset, which is also another mandatory asset you have to own in order to beat the game. But who is Earnest Kelly? At an unknown point in time, Earnest Kelly began working at the Printworks on the Little Havana and Little Haiti border. Whilst working at the Printworks, he began printing counterfeit money on a small scale, continuing to do so for a number of years. In 1986, the Printworks is bought by Tommy Vercetti. Tommy plans to keep the Printworks open, and Kelly proposes continuing his business of printing money, albeit on a larger scale with better quality plates. Tommy acquires the plates, and Kelly helps turn the Printworks into a successful business asset. Tommy also develops a soft spot for Kelly due to his own father working in a Printworks when Tommy was a child, and he begins to view Kelly as a father figure. A few weeks later, Sonny Forelli sends some of his hitmen to forcibly collect their cut from Tommy's business. When Tommy arrives at the Printworks, he finds that Kelly has been attacked by the hitmen. Furious at the attack, Tommy orders some of the print workers to take him to the hospital before going after the hitmen and killing them. Sometime after the final mission, having killed both Sonny and Lance Vance for their betrayals, Tommy receives a phone call from Kelly, who explains that he is recovering from his injuries and should be back at work.
Tommy, it's Ernest Kelly.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing okay. I'll need a stick to walk, but I should be back at work soon enough.
Good.
I heard about Lance. What a little prick, huh?
Yes.
Never trust a man who walks the streets in his pajamas, that's what I say. Glad you killed him. I hope it was painful for the prick.
I think it was. You know, I just didn't think he was like that.
Tommy, for a raging lunatic, you're pretty naive. I'll be back at work soon. Teach you a thing or two about life, you hear?
Take your time, Ernest. Look after yourself.
The Pole Position Club is the club where Tommy dropped off Mercedes at the very beginning of the game. After buying this club, all Tommy needs to do in order to set it up is to spend $300 on a dance. There is nothing more to this when it comes to the story. The second asset Tommy buys is the Malibu Club. Buying the Malibu Club will cost a decent penny, but after buying it, there are 4 setup missions which will ultimately lead to a heist. In the first mission, Tommy breaks out Cam Jones from police custody. He would be the guy who opens the safe vault of the bank. After that, the crew needs a gunman besides Tommy. Cam Jones tells Tommy about Phil Cassidy, who was practicing in the downtown ammunition. Tommy goes there and beats the score of Phil, thus making him impressed, and as a result, he agrees for the job. Now that the crew had a gunman and a safe cracker, all they needed was a driver. Phil's connection with Hillary gets the job done. However, Hillary has abandonment issues because of his bad relation with his mother, and thus Tommy needs to beat him if he wants to have him as his driver. Tommy meets Hillary and beats him in the street race. With that, the job is all that needs to be done. Phil, Tommy, Cam, and Hillary. All four finds a taxi and goes to the bank when the trunk opens and they collect their gears. After that, Cam dies while crossing the road and everyone else despawns. After that, they all wear the outfits to hide their faces and robs the bank. All that for only $50,000. Yeah, Vice City is very stingy with its money. At the end of the job, you can hear Mercedes giving Tommy a message and even Kent Paul being there to share the cut of the heist. After the heist, Tommy comes out wearing the soiree outfit. Cam Jones resides in Vice City and runs his own business, Cam's Can Openers. Cam is a kleptomaniac safecracker who has been arrested by the Vice City Police Department after he was spotted running down the street with a safe he could not open. Cam was awaiting trial for attempted robbery, which would see him sentenced to 10 years in jail. This is what the Vice City crime tree says. Claims to be expert safecracker. Expertise is thankfully dubious. Currently awaiting trial for attempted robbery. Was caught running down street with safe he couldn't open, likely to get 10 years. According to Phil's interview on MeTV, he was part of the Army Catering Corps and received a dishonorable discharge. In 1986, Tommy Vercetti hires Phil to pull off a bank robbery in the Mission the Shootist. Phil is the one who suggests Tommy should employ Hillary King as a getaway driver. After the robbery, Phil invites Tommy to work for him in order to get fixed with firepower.
Tommy, I really enjoyed working with you. Ain't had so much fun since the Vietnam, pal. Anyhow, if you need anything, you call on me, you hear? Always remember those I served with, and I'm sure I can help you out, you hear?
After Tommy kills Phil's rival gun dealer, a drunken Phil invites Tommy over to check out a boomshine bomb he had set up, wired to a remote detonator. The remote doesn't work for the first time, so Phil changes its batteries for fresh ones sitting beside the bomb. Now standing just a meter away from the powerful explosive and being careless, he presses the remote's trigger, detonating the bomb and blowing his left arm off. Tommy drives Phil to an ex-army surgeon to be patched up. Tommy and Phil start an arms business, with Phil supplying Tommy with expensive heavy weapons not available in local ammunitions throughout the rest of the game. In all of Phil's appearances, he appears as a manic, heavy artillery arms dealer, selling Tommy military-grade weaponry such as grenades, rocket launchers, and miniguns. Phil represents himself as a military veteran and regularly discusses his experiences, including claims of having flashbacks to the Vietnam War. However, Cam Jones claims that Phil was never in the army, and Phil's combat showed that he was repeatedly refused for service due to drunkenness and unsuitable temperament for combat. Phil has been featured as a heavy drinker. He distills boomshine, a highly explosive mixture that can get a man drunk off its fumes alone, which he started distilling and selling in Vice City around 1984. During a phone conversation with Tommy Vercetti, he explains that due to his heavy boomshine consumption, he is blind in the left eye. Despite his fault, Phil overall appeared to be very loyal and respectful to those he cared about and would go above and beyond for them. Hillary King is an expert driver owning a Sabre Turbo. He often works with Phil Cassidy and Cam Jones. The Vice City Police Department believes that Hillary had been raised in a stable home. Hillary is a compulsive eater. He's also a neurotic and highly dependent driver who worked with arms dealer Phil Cassidy and safecracker Cam Jones. It is also stated that Hillary has a history of abandonment issues. According to Phil, his mother has something to do with it. During the bank job, Hillary dies by the hands of the SWAT when defending the rest of the crew.
Shit! Where's Hillary? I'll give him abandonment issues.
Hey guys! Get in! I got you covered!
Next asset is the Boatyard. After buying the Boatyard, Tommy meets Jethro and Dwayne. Jethro and Dwayne were workers at the Viceport Boatyard, which is involved in building boats that may transport drugs. Their names were never mentioned in the game, but inspection of Vice City's credits in the manual and internal files reveals their first names. Dwayne's name is spelled D-W-A-Y-N-E in the game's data files and credits, and it probably is a mistake. It appears that they left the Boatyard after Tommy Vercetti took it over. Other than this, they are mainly supporting characters appearing in GTA San Andreas and has nothing else to do with Vice City. Kaufman Cabs is the running taxi company of Vice City. After Tommy buys it, he meets Doris. Doris is the dispatcher at Kaufman Cabs in Little Haiti, Vice City, and by 1986 has been working there for several years. She tasks Tommy with jobs for the Kaufman Cabs asset through the dispatch radio. After completing her final mission, Cab Magadon, the default radio station of the Kaufman Cab taxi will be changed to Doris dispatch radio, where she can be heard talking to the other taxi driver, Ted. The Cherry Popper is a front for an ice cream business. In reality, they distribute drugs throughout the entire city. Interestingly, Tommy buys this thinking it's a legit business for kid customers. That's when he meets Maude Hanson. The Vice City Bureau of Investigation have been investigating her and her business, and described her as sociopath. She had run a children's home, but has since come to hate children, persistently asking Tommy whether he was a child. She runs the factory as a front for distributing drugs, which continues under Tommy Vercetti. In order to set this business, Tommy needs to simply sell 50 products.
Who are you?
Your new owner.
Were you now or at any time a child?
What are you talking about?
Were you a child?
Yes, calm down.
What's wrong with you? A child! A dirty, stinking, sniveling, snotting, vile, puking, crying little baby. A baby! An awful, horrible, disgusting little boo-hoo! Mommy doesn't love you. You little shit!
Ow, calm down.
I hate babies, and I hate children. They're dirty, sniveling, snotting, vile, puking
Enough
little...
already! What is wrong with you? You make soft ice cream, okay? It's purely for kids. What kind of psycho are you? Just so I understand this, why make children happy if you hate them?
Oh, you stupid, sniveling, snot.
Shut up!
Rat! The ice cream is a front. We distribute other non-dairy products. And if I see a kid, I put him to good use. Don't I, kiddies? Yes, I do. Mommy doesn't love you. She hates you.
After buying the film studio, Tommy meets film director Steve Scott. He argues with Steve Scott because the director wants to make actual films of sharks, which is a parody of Jaws. But Tommy, on the other hand, had other ideas. He wanted to make adult films and that way make a lot more money. According to his opinion, no one wanted to watch a film about fish in Vice City, and he is right. Which is why Candy Suxxx was selected as the main star for the adult films produced by the studio. Scott is a film producer and director at the Interglobal Films Studios in Vice City, Florida. Scott attended Cortez's party on his yacht. He first meets Tommy Vercetti after Vercetti buys the studio. Vercetti begins to help Scott, hiring both Candy Suxxx and Mercedes Cortez for one of his films, distributing advertisements, obtaining damaging photos of Congressman Alex Shrub and Candy Suxxx, and then creating a spotlight display to advertise his latest film. Scott is a parody of film director Steven Spielberg. After completing the asset missions for the Interglobal Film Studio, posters for the film Bite, starring Candy Suxxx and directed by Scott, begin to appear. This is a reference to the film Jaws, directed by Spielberg. The film Closer Encounters, also directed by Scott and starring Candy Suxxx, is a parody of the film Close Encounters of the Third Kind, directed by Spielberg. This is what the Vice City crime tree says about him. Film director Spot spotted at various parties where organized crime carries on, thought to be seeking any money he can to finance his films, shows an unnatural obsession with sharks and mountains of mashed potatoes. Candy Suxxx was born somewhere in the United States and began to work as an adult star at some point prior to 1984. Her real name is Candice Shand. In 1986, Candy based herself out of Vice City, occasionally working with adult film director Steve Scott. She also works as a prostitute or escort, often accompanying Congressman Alex Shrub, including the Juan Cortez's parties, in place of his wife Laura. She first meets Tommy Vercetti when he recruits her, first killing her agent and then taking her to the Interglobal Films studios with Mercedes Cortez. During the mission Dildo Dodo, it is revealed that Steve Scott and Candy are sleeping together, which is discovered when Scott asks Suxxx to go to his trailer. Vercetti later follows her in a helicopter to a penthouse where she meets with Shrub, allowing Vercetti to take damaging pictures of Shrub, who is revealed to be a cross-dresser and likes to be called Martha, and Suxxx allowing him to blackmail Shrub into allowing films to continue to be distributed in the city. Suxxx meets Vercetti once again when Vercetti gets the idea to use a spotlight display to advertise their latest film. She continues to work in the porn industry until at least 1992, where posters and a billboard appear in both Los Santos and Las Venturas in San Andreas, with posters featuring Candy also appearing in Liberty City in 1998. Pictures of Candy Suxxx appear in some safe houses in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. On Kent Paul's website, it is mentioned that by 2002, Candy has retired from the adult industry, having her occupations as educator and philanthropist. Candy has too regretted her past actions, saying that she didn't know her ass from her elbow, but that luckily a lot of other people did. By 2003, her classic pornographic movies are still being advertised in adult magazines, as seen in advertisements on phone booths throughout Carter City in Manhunt. This is what the Vice City crime tree had to say about her: woman of extremely ill repute, possible involvement in blackmailing of politicians, never seems to get cold. Tommy buys the Sunshine Autos car showroom and meets with BJ Smith. BJ Smith is a former tight end for the Vice City Mambas and a professional American football team, and has decided to concentrate on business. He has since purchased Sunshine Autos and renamed it to BJ's Used Autos, and has released his own fitness video called BJ's Fit for Football. BJ has struggled to come to terms with life after his football career, although he is known to frequent Colonel Cortez's yacht party. The police are also investigating Smith for his used car business, which they suspect is a front for selling stolen cars. Smith is in debt and is doing anything for money, including training for a return to pro football, but upcoming crime lord Tommy Vercetti bought his dealership from him as a front for his car theft ring. He continued the underground chop shop business, donating stolen cars and also participating in illegal street races. BJ announced to Tommy that he was coming out of retirement and preparing his future comeback. BJ Smith's approach in life is said to be heavy-handed, citing football as an inspiration to his claims of resolving many of life's challenges with aggression and violence. BJ Smith's last chronological mention in the 3D universe is during Manhunt, set in 2003. A member of the Hoods mentions he bought a grill named after the football player.
My boy made it to the state finals. He's turning into a real jock. Yeah, we got it all. A BJ Smith grill, the works. She's real happy.
That concludes all the asset missions and lore associated with them. Now it's time to explore the side missions and characters. Avery Carrington's missions will start the chain of side missions that are optional and not needed to be done in order to beat the main game. The first mission is 4 Iron, where Tommy kills a golfer because doing so would make property prices go down. After that, in the mission Demolition Man, Tommy needs to plant 4 bombs at a construction site and blow it up for Avery, and later he can come back and fix it up which would ultimately benefit him because Tommy would destroy the building using RC helicopter. On the next mission 2-Bit hit, Tommy is introduced to Donald Love. Avery wants to cause a gang war between the Cubans and Haitians because that will bring down the property prices even more and he can invest in them. He tells Tommy that recently a Haitian gang lord died and there are rumors that the Cubans might have done it, but no one is sure. So in order for a war to happen, Tommy needs to dress up as a Cuban and kill a gang lord of the Haitians. And with that, Avery's missions come to an end. Funeraria Romero is the shop where the Haitians get out of. If you go to that shop, you can find and see that they provide funeral services, and you can also find another shop called Carnicero Romero beside it. If you pay attention, you will see that there is a box that says human organ, and you will see an arm-like figure in the back of the box as well. Now, if you go behind Funeraria Romero, you will find a skeleton in a grave that was being dug and it's missing an arm. You can put 2 and 2 together and figure out what really happened here. But why did the Haitians hang out near this shop? Auntie Poulet can give us some answers to that, but before going to her, we still have a bit of optional story left. At some point prior to 1986, Love became the protege of real estate expert Avery Carrington, often following him with a notepad and pen, including to one of Colonel Cortez's parties, and once met Tommy Vercetti, who Avery was hiring to start a gang war between the Cubans and the Haitians. Avery's willingness to use any method to bring down property prices would leave an impression on Love. He's a very minor character in GTA Vice City, but in GTA Liberty City Stories and also from GTA 3, you can tell that he is a cannibal. He is seen enjoying the human flesh in the mission campaign in Liberty City Stories.
Antonio, que pasa, amigo?
You do know I'm Italian, don't you, Don? Not, Spanish?
Of course. How silly of me. I just love all the Romance languages. My God, this is good. It tastes just like chicken, but somehow more, sentient. You want some?
I already ate, thanks.
Ugh, too bad. It's fantastic. I have some more delicacies about to be served. The liberals would have a field day, of course, but how little they know of life's real pleasures. Sophistication and democracy have always been such uneasy bedfellows.
Listen, Don, we need to win this election, okay? We need to make sure that there's, no skeletons in the closet, if, you know what I mean?
Right.
What I mean is, how do we take care of this O'Donovan guy who is covering for, standing in for the Forellis?
The guy has a lot of people canvassing for him. All kinds of deluded people, if you know what I mean. I think we need to have their faith in democracy shaken, if you understand me.
What you mean is that I gotta go beat the crap out of them.
Oh, your passion, Antonio, it's magnificent. It's so, Wagnerian, you know? Arrivederci, amigo. Humphreys, bring out the offal.
There are rumors that he might also be connected to Funeraria Romero due to them farming human organs, and he might have been buying that from them since he enjoys consuming that. After completing Avery's missions, Tommy gets a call from Umberto Robina, who thought Leo was still alive. He then asks Tommy to work for him. At first, he asks Tommy to prove he is a man by driving a boat and going through a time trial. And after that, he wants Tommy to take out the Haitians who are killing his men. This is the war that Avery wanted to happen. After taking 3 men with him, Tommy kills the Haitians, steals the van full of drugs, and makes an escape. In the next mission, engagement, he asks Tommy to kill the Haitians again this time and take the product that they have, and he will look after Tommy like his own brother. Completing this mission unlocks the Auntie Poulet missions. Umberto Robina is the leader of the Cubans' street gang. Umberto was born in Cuba. At some point in his life, Umberto moved to the United States and became affiliated with the Los Cabrones, a Cuban street gang controlling the Little Havana area of Vice City. This is what the Vice City crime tree had to say about him. Cuban warlord, long-term feud with Haitian criminals, wants control of turf, extreme macho man. During the missions of Auntie Poulet, Tommy is drugged and under voodoo magic in order to work for the Haitians. Poulet is an elderly Haitian matriarch and the leader of the Haitian gang, which she also uses as her own protection. Most of Auntie Poulet's life before the 1980s is unknown. Poulet was born in Haiti, having started both tea and drugs business during her youth. Poulet also founded a small Haitian gang. From 1984, shortly after Vic and the Cubans defeated the Cholos, Poulet and her Haitians gang came to Vice City and took over the Little Haiti district, starting a gang war with Umberto Robina and his Cuban gang. Poulet gives Tommy Vercetti mind-altering voodoo potions to get him to cooperate in the missions she wants him to undertake from her shack in Little Haiti. This includes acting against the Cubans, with whom he has friendly relations. However, when the effects of the potion wears off, Tommy shows no memory of what he has done for the Haitians. Ultimately, she cuts her ties with him and wishes that he not return to Little Haiti. But if Tommy returns, he receives a final phone call from Auntie Poulet. Following Poulet's final mission, Tommy destroys the Haitians' main drug operations plant for Umberto Robina, which is also the final mission he gives to Tommy, and ending the chain of side missions of the Haitian-Cuban Saga.
Oh, sorry, I must have the wrong address.
Well, you might as well come in and rest your souls and have some tea. Do you have something there for me, Tommy?
Yeah. This place feels familiar to me. It's a smell from childhood, a deja vu.
Now, Tommy, I'm going to whisper a little errand for you. Hear me well, aye?
You look like someone I...
The Cubans have fast boats they use to cross the seas with drugs. It is their livelihood. Me nephew been making little flying bombs to take them out. Blow the boats to Kaufman wood.
Thanks for the tea.
Another set of side mission that Tommy can do is for the Love Fist. Love Fist is a music band in GTA Vice City. The band is comprised of Jess Torrent, Willie, Dick, and Percy, which are all slang terms for the penis. It is not revealed when the band were formed, but by 1984, V-Rock was hosting a giveaway of Love Fist concert tickets, and by 1986, they are on their Steel Heart Stone Cold Prostate tour and being managed by Kent Paul. By 1992, they are only a three-man band as seen on a vinyl countdown billboard as Willie has left the group. During in-game dialogue in GTA Vice City, several secrets are revealed about the band members. Lead singer Jess Torrent apparently used to have sex with sheep. Drummer Dick sleeps with bunny pajamas. Guitarist Percy is a huge fan of Duran Duran, and bassist Willie likes to wear women's underwear. Jess Torrent sings about cross-dressing on Dangerous Bastard, and Tommy accuses the entire band of bisexuality, to which they do not offer a reply. They ask Tommy to work for them by helping them when a psycho tries to kill them and to get them some drugs and Mercedes for companion, eventually leading to Mitch Baker. Mitch Baker is a Vietnam veteran and motorcycle enthusiast. He has won the Purple Heart Award for killing a village full of Viet Cong. His extreme bitterness at treatment of veterans has led to violent clashes with authority. He has been jailed on 13 occasions. His character has been described on the VCBI police file as a lawless, degenerate sociopath. Big Mitch Baker is believed to have been implicated in several civil disturbances. He runs the local gang of bikers and is believed to be implicated in narcotics distribution. He has extreme loyalty within his gang, the Bikers. His initiation rituals for the biker gang precludes getting a man on inside. Big Mitch Baker is known for loathing for soft rock, communists, and Whigs. He tells Tommy to win a race to see if he can handle a bike, and then tells him to cause mayhem to further show his competency, and then finally asks him to get his bike back, and in return will work for Love Fist as security. After the missions of Mitch Baker, Tommy goes to Love Fist for the final time to simply drive them to the stage. However, the car is rigged with a bomb. Tommy drove the car until they disarmed the bomb and dropped them off to the stage for their concert. And that concludes the side missions. The last set of missions that are optional is assassination missions by Mr. Black. There is no overarching story to these missions, as you are simply given a task to complete them and assassinate the target. Mr. Black still thinks you are Leo Teal, the chef that you kill at the very beginning of the game, and that's why he gives these missions, as Leo had a connection with Mr. Black. He seems to be an European man from the sounds of his voice, and possibly connected to money laundering. But other than this, there is nothing known about him. This wraps up the entire story of Vice City. There are still a couple of very minor characters that I did not touch due to the fact that they really don't add anything material to the story of Vice City. And what a wicked world Vice City really made. A world that's full of criminals, cannibals, voodoo practitioners, and of course, our favorite psychotic killer. Thank you for watching. Please become a member if you want to support me and get early access to my videos, and if you love to watch videos on lore explained and icebergs. Thanks to Due Smoke TV for becoming a member of this channel and supporting me. And with that being said, Perfect Enrager signing out.